Matt Le Tissier was right about Jamie Carragher being a scumbag all along. Let me explain why in chronological order. For those of you out of the loop, Le Tissier, who is not only an absolute magician of a footballer, but also happens to be a man of morals, integrity and principles, was sacked by Sky Sports for daring to call out some of the sheer fuckery that's been taking place in society. He started off by questioning why he had to wear a Black Lives Matter badge on live television when it represented a dangerous far-left ideology, which includes ideas such as defunding the police and ending capitalism. After predictably being labelled as a racist for doing so, Le Tissier calmly explained with logic how he obviously had an issue with the organization as opposed to any particular group of people. Thereafter, Le Tissier called out the scaremongering during COVID, asking why it was being reported as though everyone was going to die, even though only the elderly and people with existing medical conditions were at risk of losing their lives. For some reason, this massively pissed off the press, who began painting a narrative that Le Tissier was some sort of conspiracy theory promoting lunatic. Taken aback by this, Le Tissier gave an incredibly level-headed response, saying that he's merely sticking up for what he believes in, and if evidence proves him wrong, then he's happy to hold his hand up and apologize. He went on to add that the only way society can move forward is by having open and honest debates, whereby you hear both sides of the argument, because this current trend of dividing and conquering is allowing the people at the very top to get away with crimes against humanity, while the rest of us are busy fighting amongst ourselves. Almost immediately after this statement, Le Tissier was cancelled by every major media outlet in the country, and only at Twitter left to express his views. By this point, Le Tissier rightly lost his cool. He queried why the media should be trusted when they lied about things like weapons of mass destruction and the Hunter Biden laptop story, while covering up Hillsborough for decades on end, and claimed that when the machinery wants to discredit someone, they label them as a conspiracy theorist. I mean, seriously, nothing Le Tissier has said is particularly controversial. He's of the opinion that politicians can't be trusted, pharmaceutical companies have a profit-first motive and don't really care about the negative impact their actions have on individuals, and that we should be careful when jumping to conclusions about war, given there's propaganda coming out from both sides. For a stand-up bloke like Le Tissier to be getting pelters for sharing thoughts which really should just be considered common sense is quite frankly a complete fucking disgrace, and breaks my heart to see given how pure his intentions have been from day one. Meanwhile, Carragher, who's a monumental bellend, continues to get work left, right and center, even though he hurled abuse towards Le Tissier in a phone call. All Le Tissier did was ask Sky Sports why they sacked him for harmless social media posts, while they kept hold of a man who spat on a teenage girl and continuously makes inappropriate comments towards his fellow pundits. After getting wind of this, Carragher got hold of Le Tissier's number from Phil Thompson and screamed at him over the phone for bringing up something from the past, before threatening him by saying he'll ruin his life by taking the piss out of everything he does on Twitter moving forward, to which Le Tissier, who isn't a man-child like Carragher, replied by saying that Carragher needs to take responsibility for his actions and should be a little bit more mature than he is for a 47-year-old man. Frankly speaking, I'm sick and tired of Muppets like Carragher, whose mask slips off the second someone says something he doesn't like, getting away with antisocial behavior, all while actual good men in the mold of Le Tissier are silenced, and those wankers over at Sky Sports are to blame for it. Subscribe if you liked the video, and don't if you thought it was shite. Peace.